It's time! Hey everybody, welcome to this version of reality. I am Liamo All-Star, and this is custom commentary of UFC 217. I'll be covering the three main title fights of this card, that is to say, the women's strawweight title match between Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. The Bantamweight Championship between TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. And the main event of the evening, the returning George St. Pierre takes on Michael Bisping for the Middleweight Championship. It is set to be one hell of a show, and you get to listen to me and my custom commentary of this event. I'm going to be starting the feed once it hits the 1 hour mark, which is about a minute away. Or less than a minute now, I guess. So let's just have a quick look at these three main title match. So we've basically got the Bantamweight Championship between Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw, which is scheduled to be a headline of 2:13. However, Garbrandt withdrew due to a back injury. It is rescheduled for this event. The Strawweight Championship between Joanna Jędrzejczyk and challenger Rose Namajunas, which is currently number 4 ranked, and this is going to be the first scheduled title match of the evening, so it's going to be coming up real shortly in the next 20 seconds now. And of course, returning fighter and former two-time my apologies. Former 3-time welterweight champion George St. Pierre is absolutely the greatest, or one of the greatest UFC fighters in the UFC, and Michael Bisping is aiming to take him out. Here comes the live feed, the 1 hour mark. For those who want to sync it up, 1 hour is now hitting. I'm going to turn the volume up and get the feed going. It's the end of the fight between I'm already screwing this up. Thompson and Masvidal. It looks like he's about to finish him off, maybe? Like I said, I'm only covering the 3 title fights because I'm lazy and because, well, the 3 main events. So we'll look at the results before we go into anything, because the entire card, the preliminary card, spoiler alerts for people who haven't seen the event, Curtis Blades defeats Olasik Olinik by doctor stoppage in the heavyweight match. The bantamweight, Ricardo Ramos first defeated Ayman Zanhabi via KO by spinning back elbow. Good for him. In the welterweight division, an interesting loss, because Mickey Gall was defeated by Randy Brown. And Mickey Gall is a guy who's defeated a couple of headliners. He was the guy who defeated CM Punk in his debut in the UFC, but he lost via unanimous decision. And in a light heavyweight, this is a preliminary card still. Vince St. Prix defeated Corey Anderson in the light heavyweight match. Mark Godbeer defeated Walt Harris in the heavyweight match, and in the lightweight match in the preliminary card, James Vick defeated Joseph Duffy. And so far in the main card, Apollo Costa defeated Johnny Hendricks via TKO, and we're about to see I believe this is going to go to the difference between Stephen Thompson and George Masvidal. So as we're waiting for the main card, the first title match, which is going to be Rose Namajunas, the 4th ranked fighter in the strawweight women's division, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Now the interesting thing about this is that there is a record on the line, so there is something for Joanna Jędrzejczyk to lose. See, in the women's division, the most title defenses by any female competitor has been none other than Ronda Rousey at 6. And in this right now is set to be history, because Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I believe, also has 6 title defenses. So she's at 5. She's at 5 at the moment. So if she wins against Rose Namajunas tonight, she ties Ronda Rousey for the record, and then her next title fight after that, she's set to break the record. So she is out to get this record. She's basically here's the other thing as well. What's interesting about this is the composure of Rose Namajunas in this whole thing, because Joanna has, especially in their weigh-in and the matchup, you know, how they come together, you know, the face-off in the weigh-in, and Rose Namajunas gave her a bit of a kiss with the fist, just sort of extended her fist right out into her face and just sort of gave her a fist, you know, in the face as she walked off. And Rose Namajunas just sort of stood there and remained completely unfazed. Now, that kind of makes her a bit of an enigma for this fight when you think about it, because there's 2 ways you could interpret that. Either she was too afraid to do something, or she's holding everything back until the fight. But perhaps there is a bit of both, and I speak from personal experience. When keeping it all in, there is definitely fear there, but I'd say that Rose is definitely in control of her emotions. She is well composed. What it's ultimately going to come down to is not psychology in this fight, but whether or not Rose can actually beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Because, let's quickly tip over. So Stephen Thompson in this match is won by unanimous decision. So yeah, this is just continuing to record, so all errors and everything in my speech. If I can't English today, that's too bad. So we are just moments away now from the title fight between Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So basically, it's going to come down to fighting ability, and Rose Namajunas was in the very first ever strawweight title match. She was in the Ultimate Fighter. It was a title that they were debuting in the Ultimate Fighter, and basically what happened in that match was, unfortunately, she lost. So basically what happened was, in the Ultimate Fighter, she faced off against Carla Esparza, and she was submitted by a rear naked choke. But despite that, she's had a successful career for the most parts, and she's gone against several different people, most notably when she fought against Paige Van Zandt at UFC Fight Night 80, and she won that match. And there was a couple other matches where, one where she fought against Carolina Kowalkiewicz. All your names are just, you know who I'm talking about. Carolina Kowalkiewicz. That's the name. But Kowalkiewicz defeated Namajunas via split decision. So basically, there've been a bit of ups and downs, but Rose Namajunas has been clawing away up the division. Defeated Michelle Waterson in a well-titled you know, basically it was another high-profile match for the two, and I believe this is the one which has earned her a title match, despite the fact that she is only 4th ranked. But then, you know, as well, Holly Holm got the title match and she was ranked 10th in the division, the lowest in the top 10 rankings, and won against Ronda Rousey. So it's about to begin shortly. So Joanna Jędrzejczyk has dominated the strawweight division, and it's about to have the promo card shortly, but she's been on fire. Not always been the most respectful, and especially considering, you know, just the mentality, the psychology of it all. She's come into this and she's already started taking her swings with her mouth and with a general attitude. She's trying to get into the head of Rose Namajunas, and also it's her game to get into the head of her opponents before she steps in the ring, and to use that psychology to gain the edge. Ow. We're just moments away now. Now, what are my predictions for this fight? I think that I don't see this going... I honestly don't see this fight going longer than 3 rounds. I reckon that'll be one within 3 rounds, but who will win between Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk? I'd like to see Rose Namajunas win because she's such a nice person, and she's the underdog in this, and I like her. She's a nice person, but I believe that Joanna Jędrzejczyk does have that little bit more of an edge, which should be able to get her through this fight. She's got the experience as the champion. She's contending for a record to tie that record with Ronda Rousey. I think, unfortunately, or rather fortunately for Joanna, but unfortunately for Rose, we're going to see another title defense. I do hope that Rose wins, but I just don't know if Rose has exactly the same tenacity that Joanna does. But that's not to say that it can't happen. I'm just finding it a little hard to see how that could happen. And not to mention as well, we look at the stats between the two fighters here as well. And so basically, in her MMA career, she's had 14 wins and no losses. So, you know, that's something to consider as well. And we look at... we go over to the stats for Rose Namajunas, and her records is 6-3. So at least a third of her fights have ended with her losing. So we look at the stats there, and they definitely favour Joanna more than Rose. So she's definitely coming into this as the underdog in this fight. God, when is it going to begin? Promos. We got all my commentary here, and that's what's keeping this going, unless people are just basically watching the UFC and listening to that commentary. But it's like, come on, give me the fights! Let's get to it already. Yeah, what about this fight over here? I'm going to talk about this fight. Oh, well, I have this opinion about this fight. And then there's me with my little opinion about what the opinion of the people with the opinions are. Now we're talking about another fight card. Get to the point. Get to the damn card already. Come on! Pay $50 for this. We'll have a match. The $50? 60. Yeah. Yeah, not to mention Madison Square Garden, New York, is where this event is also being held. Probably should have mentioned that in the beginning. It was actually in New York, and the closest I got to seeing Madison Square Garden was outside when I drove past in a cab. And yeah, so hey, little bit of cheap plug right here. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out on my YouTube channel in my feed for the 10-day USA tour of 2017. The next episode will be this Friday, as always, until the 10th day has come and gone. So there's still quite a few parts to go, but in the meanwhile, it looks like we're about to get into the first title match of the evening. Maybe turn the volume up just a little, so we get a little bit of background noise. So we're getting the promo.
It hasn't been an easy road getting here. It's been all hard work and dedication, but having fun with it at the same time. Just working really hard and having fun with it has been the whole main focus getting back to this point. I want to show everybody that I'm the real champ.
So first title match since the very first ever, since the inception of the Strawweight Championship. So Rose has had a long road to get back to this point. It's the second ever title match.
I want to be better fighter, better champion with every fight.
She has been vicious and ruthless.
Is an assassin. She's definitely trying to tear your head off. Unbelievable kickboxing world champion, UFC champion. Nobody ever thought that we would see another women's champion as dominant as Ronda Rousey. Joanna Jacek is knocking on the door, and it does not look like she's about to slow down at all.
I want people to remember me as one of the greatest UFC fighters.
You see that? She's going for the greatest.
Joanna's been tested on a number of occasions, and she pushed right through it. But Rose Namajunas is a new challenge. You've got to be very careful against Rose, because if not, boom, flying armbar. She has more submission than anyone in this division. She's willing to try anything.
Yeah, she has a way of slipping through, like...
Win over Joanna to me means that I'm the greatest of all time, best in the world. That's what I'm doing this for. I'm here to take that title from her.
She's very talented. She's very sneaky. She's never going to be ready for me. I'm the best fighter in the world. I want to retire as undefeated, and it's my goal. And I make my goals come true.
So it should be an interesting fight. And looks like we're about to get into it finally. Come on, let's get him out there. So you see the composure there. I mean, that kind of composure is restraint of emotion and also keeping control. Just keeping it all within. That can be a good thing or a bad thing, because it depends on what you feel like at the time and what you keep it within. If you're feeling nothing and you just basically... that could be it very well as well. It does look like she is, for the most part, composed. She's definitely got her mindset, but I'd say that there's a little bit of uncertainty there for the moment at the very least.
Well, she has to get the fight to the ground, right? She has to get the fight to the ground, and she needs to get the fight to the ground early, because the longer she stands...
Got enough lip there? It's like... Blah! It's like, yeah, let me just eat your face. Blah! Before the fight. Save enough for the other person, you jackass!
Now she feels like the timing is perfect for her to become...
I didn't know that. Probably should... Karate black belt. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's a black belt in karate. What's she, a black belt in taekwondo, and also Let's quickly check that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in Karate, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I almost forgot about that. And then, of course, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, a dominant kickboxer. But I think that was already well and truly covered in the fact that she's the champion. And here comes the champion! See how this one goes, see what she'll do in the ring. Will she continue that disrespect towards Rose Namajunas, or will she just go in there and actually be a good sport? She looks a little nervous. See, the difference between when Rose went in, yeah, if she was nervous, she was composed, but Joanna, you know, you just see the way she's acting and everything, just sort of trying to put it on like, yeah, okay. Trying to get herself up in the zone, trying to amp herself up. You can see if the security wasn't there, she'd probably be going to the ring as quickly. She does look a little bit nervous, just a little. Just a little apprehensive, and she does have something to gain and something to lose in this fight. The This commentators, what the hell are they talking about? That's what I don't get as well. It's like, you're taking your shirt and pants and your shoes off when you get in the ring anyway, so why do you gotta wear it on the way to the ring? You know, I don't understand, because as a competitor, when I've competed, not at that level obviously, but competing in, you know, martial arts myself, and, you know, in athletics and other competitions, it's like, okay, you got, you know, your jacket and that, but it's like, it's like, why all the layers of clothing when you're going to the ring? It's like, by that point, okay, beforehand, wear all of it to keep warm, but then after that, it's like, let's do this. Just get it off and get straight to the ring so there's less stuffing around, you know? That's just me. Here we go, yep. So Joanna's already in. She's... Yeah. Please God, let me win. La, 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 la. It's like, I think God's got to sit this one out. But then, hey, what do I know? You see how she enters the ring running around. She's getting that adrenaline pumping, trying to get herself in the zone, but that's not to say that when she gets there, you know, it'll be very interesting. Yeah, she just wants to get right into it. There's a little bit of nervousness there. I think as well, because Rose is a little bit of that, you know, because she is a bit of that unorthodox, like, you don't expect a lot of the things from Rose, and that, you know, how she's gotten those submissions, she's snuck in and managed to win the fights that she's won. Oh, here comes through. Quiet for the announcements. Like, I'm just going to say it real quick. What's with that suit? I don't know. Kind of, you know. She's a little bit nervous there. But she's really composed. She's in control of her emotions. That's a good thing. Well, she's trying to keep herself all, try to keep everything elevated there.
And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a striker holding an undefeated professional record, 14 wins, no losses. She stands 5 feet 6
Yeah, you
inches
see
tall,
that? She's not,
at 150
she's letting her emotions control her right now.
Poland, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC strawweight champion of the world, Liamo!
Okay, looks like we're about to hit it off. Face off in the ring. And here we go. She's got to do that thing where she's like... Oh, look at that. It's like that weird contortion at the neck that Joanna does. Like, I can't do it. I'll probably break my neck. My head will fall off. Okay, here we go. Yes! Awesome. Yeah, for all that confidence, Joanna doesn't seem to really be going in that well. I mean, it's just the first few seconds, of course, just testing things out. But still, for all that confidence, Joanna's really not doing anything yet.
Yep, she's a little bit bigger, and that's why she gets the question to whether or not she's going to ever fight up at 125, because she is a little bigger for the weight class.
Okay. Right.
Yes, Namajunas looks
So,
on the feet so far.
Landed a nice leg kick to start things off.
not really a lot. Oh!
She's moving, she caught a little bit of counter right hand there.
Rose has got through the guard already.
She has to really stay within herself as she attacks young Jacek.
It's that composure. She's able to see right through right now. This could be interesting.
Beautiful jab. It's long and she sets up fantastic combinations from it.
And Joanna
I mean, Joanna hasn't really been able to break through with anything, but Rose has already gotten through her guard at least twice now.
reckless because young Jacek has the ability to counter just as well as she fights going forward.
See, she's trying to back her off with that. She's using those kicks to back her off. But Rose is still getting through. Yeah, Joanna's, she's throwing all those attacks as a means of defense. But it's not working. It's like Rose is getting through. Like, she's getting straight through.
The idea that she could be that comfortable in a kickboxing.
I mean, in this case, you'd think a little... Oh, look at... No!
Rose tagged her, and Rose has a fantastic submission game.
This is where Rose
Yeah, it looks more like she tripped, but then...
has the advantage.
It's still not a good position for Joanna.
Oh, she let her up.
Rose has the advantage on the ground and in the trench here.
You'd think that by this point, Joanna would be going right at it because as she's backing off.
Huge confidence for Rose Namajunas now. She knows she can stun her, but she's getting
But Rose kind of got hit back. But
It looked like young Jacek was trying to throw a kick as Rose attacked her, and the shot
but
grazed her.
Joanna, it looked more like she tripped, but still she got hit, but she tripped over. But still, that's the energy it would have taken her to defend that. She's got to go in. She's got to do something. But she's not doing anything. Rose is in control of this fight. I mean, the first round's obviously going to go to Rose. Oh, look at that! I called it! First round to Rose. Holy crap! Just as I say, it's like, oh, Rose is going to win the first rounds. She then goes ahead and wins the top. Oh, well done! That's awesome! And the first round, like, that was good. That was awesome. But Joanna really didn't do anything in that fight. That's the thing. She didn't do anything you know, it was all more or less her attacks were... She did the attacks as a means of defense, but she didn't go on any real offense. She was just all testing the entire time. They're showing that replay. See, right through. Right through. And then Joanna didn't get, you know, she didn't recover at all. And then she's tapped out to the... She didn't bother to... You know, I think in this instance it's safe to say that Joanna definitely dished it out, but she could not take it. Absolutely. I mean, in terms of the lead up to the fight, you know, Joanna was very disrespectful to Rose, and you know what? I think, well done, Rose, and congratulations. That is awesome. She was in the first ever title match for the title, and now finally she's found her way back to title contention in a second title match in her history as an MMA fighter, and she's won. And a black belt in karate, of all things. Yay! But then she gets up, and it's like... I'm sorry, but if that was me, I wouldn't be tapping out. I mean, look at it, she's up. Joanna's had worse, but... Joanna threw that one away. That's one that Joanna could have won, but she didn't. She didn't do anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 3 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout and
Oh. There's all that emotion contained, and now she's just letting it out, and just a little. You see her, she's just composing herself against, like, yeah, nope, just contain it in. Here's the fight.
I'm at a loss for words. That was unbelievable.
Joe Rogan.
The winner and new UFC strawweight champion of the world, Rose Namajunas. How does that sound to you?
Man, it sound like butter. Sound like butter.
Does this even feel real?
No, it don't. I feel like a movie right now.
There was so much tension and so much emotion leading up to this fight. The weigh-in, she was saying all kinds of crazy stuff to you, and you were reciting the Lord's Prayer. What was going through your mind when all this was happening?
There's so much like crap going on in the media, news and stuff, and I just want to try and use my gift of martial arts to try to make this world a better place to change the world. This belt don't mean nothing, man. Just be a good person. That's it. You know, this is extra. This is awesome, but let's just give each other hugs and be nice, man. I mean, I know we fight, but this is entertainment. You know, afterwards, it's nothing.
Rose, out of all the ways...
That is almost an ironic statement.
winning by knockout was very
Be nice to each other!
You had caught her early with a right hand, but this left hook is what closed the show. You dropped her, you saw her legs give out, you saw her eyes roll back. What went through your mind when you saw that happen?
Just confidence, conditioning, composure, content. I'm a champion. That's all I was saying the entire time. Just my mantra.
When you dropped bombs on her and she tapped due to strikes.
I've never seen that before. A person tapping
Champion of the world.
instead of trying to get out of it.
How do you feel?
It's just weird, you know?
Person, man. That's it. I'm just regular. Ain't nothing special here.
There's something special whether you admit it or not. Congratulations on an amazing performance. It was an honor to call your fight. Rose Namajunas, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, congratulations! Here's your free t-shirt. Let's hope that it's in your size.
The 303 training center rep gets it done at 303 of the opening round.
I wonder how much that shirt costs at the merchandise stand. It's like, yeah, here's a free t-shirt and a belt.
But there is a new fighter at the top of the heap at 115 pounds. Thug Rose.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome. You know, after everything that Joanna did leading up to the fight, I mean, a better person couldn't have won that match, I reckon. Especially after that. You know, the fact that even after the fight, although notice she didn't say anything about Joanna. They didn't ask anything about Joanna. She's gone. Like, she's not even there. I mean, that's just, sorry, but bad sportsmanship. And Joanna threw that one away. She should have won that. You know, you look at her record, you look at what she's done in the UFC, and she went in there, and she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything to try and win that fight while she was there. And then when she was in that position where she was getting struck, she didn't do anything to get out of it. She just tapped out, like she just gave up. But I guess now it'd be interesting to see just how Rose's title reign goes. Like, how long a stretch will she have as champion, and what kind of champion will she be? I guess that's definitely something to keep an eye on. You know, because I still see, she's the champion. That's great. Still, someone at the underdog champion that's come into prominence has won the title. I think now, guess look forward to her next opponent and just keep on training and make sure. Will Joanna invoke a rematch straight away? Will the UFC give them a rematch and straight away? Who knows? So now we're getting some advertisements for... Yeah, the next one coming up is another very interesting match between... Let's see. Get to that little information right there. What are you doing? Damn little... So the next match is TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt. And... there's a bit of history between the two of them. So... so it was something along the lines of... they were... So I'm just looking through because there is history between these two, and it's rather personal between them. And I'm just trying to get it specifically before it comes up, which I probably should have done earlier, but hey, doing everything on the fly. This is all live, but there is... But yeah, it's coming up. I'm trying to get a little bit of background on them. So let's see what it says here. Why does TJ Dillashaw hate Cody Garbrandt?
I am incredibly pumped about this fight because I think Max Holloway is a special fighter, and I think special fighters...
If I could actually get a decent, fast internet connection in Australia.
Amazing fighter who's a former champion at 145, who I think, judging by the Yair Rodriguez fight, not just has a lot left in the...
So it comes down to the fact that they're on the same... they're basically in the same club or the same team. That's... so it says here... rivalry... Why is this taking so long to load? Why can't Australia have faster internet so I could just read it already? Ah! So, apparently, because they're former teammates, and I think it has something to do with the fact that because they left the team, and so they're part of Team Alpha Male. And since TJ left, and I think there's some heat there where basically he basically, betray. I think there's something along the lines of he betrayed the team. He turned his back on the club. That's a lot of that. Something that certainly can be relatable to a degree, because I mean, it's never a good thing when we're going to get the lead up. Oh no, that's right. We're getting an advertisement for The Walking Dead. I haven't seen The Walking Dead yet, but yeah, basically the rivalry stems from basically a personal feud between the two of them, and being former teammates and now bitter rivals. I guess it doesn't really get any simpler than that. And yeah, it's be interesting to see just how this turns out, because TJ Dillashaw is a former champion, and he's coming in, so this is his chance to regain the title in the bantamweight division, the men's bantamweight division, against Cody Garbrandt. I gotta say something about Cody. It seems to be quite egotistical. I mean, last time I saw him fight, last time he did fight, which I believe was on the same card as Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes, he was quite arrogant and egotistical, taunting his opponent, and I mean, I didn't really care much for it personally, but I'm sort of sitting on the sidelines of this one and saying that I don't know how this match is going to go. I mean, I don't know too much. I don't know enough about these two to call it down the middle. You'd think that the champion would defend his title in this instance, because he's still relatively new champion, and he's only had one title defense. So getting the promo right there. So they were in Alpha Male, Team Alpha Male.
Recognize the enemy. We went running from you guys. Uriah took him out of school, built him up. Dwayne comes in, takes over, and then takes the champion.
They were asking TJ what's going on, and he was like, I'm staying here, I'm Team Alpha Male.
See, there it is.
And TJ's just the way they conduct himself as a teammate, as a person.
So it's basically because he left the club.
They're stuck in their gym because it's Team Alpha Male versus everyone.
But this has been a masterclass in footwork and movement from the former champion. He's continuing to get better. This is the best we've ever seen.
He's got a good style, though.
Garbrandt has been a knockout artist of the highest order in his MMA career.
But there, Cody Garbrandt, he's good as well, but yep, see, there's that match. And where it's just eager. You see, I was just taunting him in that match. Yeah, it was pretty 50-50 for a while.
I lost, and I'm going to take it like a man. Because he's still got to fight another guy who comes from Alpha Male and is just as angry as I am. It's very rewarding to be able to finally...
In fact, I don't even think he's had a title defense yet.
But also for my team. Pride myself on being a proud Team Alpha Male member. Now we're at a bigger...
So what it ultimately comes down to is loyalty and respect, because TJ, they claim that he said, that you're loyal to the club, staying loyal to the club. Oh no, I'm staying, and then he ducks off and leaves, and basically goes against his word, what he said. So he lied to them, basically. It feels like it was disrespected. Like, loyalty to Team Alpha has been betrayed, so definitely some bad blood there. And also the fact that Garbrandt is quite an egotistical individual as well. He would have taken that very personally, and that explains it to a T, if no one knew what the explanation was. But I've been in that position before as well, where I've had people that I train with. Okay. I just gotta quickly say before anything, there are better Red Hot Chili Peppers songs to choose as your theme. California! But yeah, back to my point, because I've had, when I was running, martial arts club, from time to time had people that, would stop training just because their life took them on a different direction, a different path. Once in a while, you get that one person with the ambitious, parent, or just the egotistical person that's trying to mold the club into what they want it to be rather than what it is. And maybe just egotistical, disrespectful, doesn't want to follow the rules, and wants your club to conform to their standard rather than them conforming to your standard, at least, in terms of, how things are done. And because especially when you get ambitious parents and a child, and their special little child isn't getting all the attention that they wanted to get, and we're not treating them, like they're royalty. Everyone's equal. Even if you are talented, even if you are very good, it's like, what, at the end of the day, that means nothing. Because in that tournament, you're the best. But outside of it, you carry that attitude and be disrespectful, you get no special treatment. And so, in those instances, in the once in a while, every now and then, you get that one person that would then take their darling, or take their darling self, their darling child, to another club where just basically hop from club to club to try and find somewhere where they would be treated with this absolute royalty, like with this rod up their ass mentality, where it's like, they want to be special, they want to be the number one focus, them and no one else, sort of thing. And it's like, that's never going to happen. Never, because, you want to be treated as something special yourself, and be disrespectful to everyone else and act like I'm the best and no one's better. Like, you don't even have to be polite, you don't even have to treat others with the same, go around hitting other students, just taking cheap shots and everything, and having no respect for anyone but yourself, and not even really having any self-respect to be a decent person. And then, of course, you're not going to get any special treatment, and there'll be times where we had to kick people out of the club because of certain attitude. And I guess that's also where it comes in with Cody Garbrandt as well, because if he did that, like all the taunting and everything, that disrespectful attitude in the ring, some people are for that and like, yeah, that's cool. It's like, it really isn't. It's a bad attitude, and it can have a bad reflection on you, not only as a competitor, but it can be detrimental to you, because then you're shifting your focus. You're shifting your focus from the fight, and instead you're focusing on just basically trying to demoralize your opponent and humiliate them, rather than actually defeat them in a physical competitive contest. So I guess that's probably what it will come down to here. I mean, because TJ Dillashaw is a proven fighter, former champion in his own right, and he's here to take back the championship. He didn't lose it to Cody, but basically he's former champion, looking to become a champion again. But Cody Garbrandt has definitely ego, there's definitely pride, there's a lot of things that are on the line in his mind, and he needs to focus on that, because if he goes in there and does the taunting and crap, and he could lose. But I do believe that Cody's got the upper hand in this, because I just think that, because he's taken the pride of his club, he's taken all that in. I'm going to make a call right here and say that Cody's got to... I reckon he'll win this. I reckon he should win this, rather. Maybe because I'm already technically 0 for 1 in predictions. So this will probably make me, maybe it'll even me out. Who knows? Or maybe I shouldn't go in predict because it's too close to call. But Cody being the champion and still just a new champion should be out to win and, start his title reign. But the interesting thing as well, he won the title back in December of last year, and it's been this long since his next fight, and that's where I'd be like, I'd be going to Dana and everyone would be going, as many fights as possible. Next fight. When's the next fight? Give me a fight sooner, because the longer you wait, holding a title is one thing, but being a champion, a fighting champion, is completely a different thing altogether. That's just me, If I were UFC champion, if I ever get in that ring at one point and become a champion, I'd be basically clamoring for title fights as soon as possible to defend the title, Because what's the point of being a champion if you're not defending a title, if you're not proving your worth as a champion in the ring, But we're going to get the ring announcements from Bruce Buffer in a second, so...
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Bang Muay Thai fighter holding a professional record.
The audience does not like him.
He stands 5 feet 6 and 1/2 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds.
Guess the audience values that loyalty as much as everyone else.
Contender in the world and the former UFC bantamweight champion, presenting the challenger, TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, I think he's kind of not the favourite in this match. Someone should get him like a notebook or something, like a colouring book, so he doesn't just colour your skin in. So Cody's the favourite in this one because you just tell from that audience reaction, they don't appreciate TJ Dillashaw's lying and lack of loyalty as much as the person standing across from him in that ring. Oh, see, there's that disrespect from Cody right there. Oh dear. He has no respect for TJ right now. None. But still, even if you don't like the person, touch gloves. Don't be an ass. I mean, we saw what happened with Ronda Rousey when she did that. And, yeah.
TJ has a remarkable ability to be calm in big fights. You saw that in the Henry Corral fight. He came out fighting Corral like he was
What the hell is that?
very loose and relaxed, and he looks that way now.
He's smiling. TJ Dillashaw is smiling.
And he loves competition. He
Well,
loves
that-
to fight. This is
Okay, I get the former kick of everything, but he's just throwing those kicks and turning his back. That should be when... See, he did it again!
And they feel if he does that, he opens himself up to get hurt bad.
Yeah, he should be going straight in. I mean, unless that's what he's trying to do, lure him in, but... I mean, those aren't very good kicks at all, and they're pointless. They're just waste of energy and leaving him wide open.
second mistakes that can cause you to get knocked out.
But you can see right now TJ's being egotistical, whereas Cody's being serious. And that's where he needs to be. That composure. That's what's going to get him the win. But There's kicks. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, stupid kicks. Yeah, I bet you he does another one in the next 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Nope, I guess he's thinking twice. Oh yeah, just... He's turning his back to him. So I guess that's probably a little bit of disrespect as well on TJ's part. Throwing those moves and not expecting anything in return. So those are bad kicks. They're not... I mean, he's not even committing to the kicks he's doing. He's just wasting energy. And if it's going to go 5 rounds, which I don't think this will, I reckon another within 3 rounds, the way that it's going, it's going to... It looks like it's just going to take, like, these 3 title matches. Seems like it's only going to be, like, because for the most part, the technique, I mean, apart from his kicks, or the technicality and everything, composure and what have you, it's going to take a small mistake to make a big difference. I mean, we saw that in the Joanna and Rose contest earlier. I could see it going much the same in this fight here. See, oh, look at that! He's going in. See, he turned his back net. See, that's what he needs to do. As soon as he turns his back, capitalize straight away. See, he's wasting energy. Take him, go in, go straight in. Because his defense will be right down when he's turning his back. There's not a lot he can do if his back's turned here. It's definitely a lot more intense, a lot more happening than the last fight. A lot, but not a lot at the same time, if that makes sense. So Cody's got pretty good right now. TJ's still, he's trying to find a way through and he can't. They keep throwing those kicks like they're supposed to do something, but he's not even committing 100% to the attack, so why bother? So that one he did. But still, so the kick is going nowhere. And that one there, he's kicking, but it's making no difference. He's wasting his energy. So you can see now, because he's throwing those kicks and everything, he's worn himself down a little. So I reckon this one's going to go the rounds. Is anything actually going to happen before the end of the round? Can he close it out? See, TJ's, I think, focusing more on just... See, there's that kick again. It's desperation. He's not doing anything to actually win the fight at the moment. Oh, go, go, go! Oh. Okay, I'll pay that one, but still... as funny as that was, like, oh god, flipping the bird, but... I would have gotten right in and just submitted straight away, just get right behind him. But then, there's not a lot you could do in those last 10 seconds. But Cody needs to go in now. He needs to take advantage of that. He needs to, you know, he's got this fight won if he could just continue to go in and not go in the taunting. Because at the end of the fight, flipping him the bird, if he's going to get in that mentality, he's not going to win the fight. You know? But TJ's going to be in desperation mode now. He's probably going to start tightening up his game and his defense and actually, you know, unless he starts throwing stupid kicks again, unless he actually commits to a kick. It's not got to, You know, those kicks are useless unless you actually have some sort of commitment to it. You just throw kicks for the sake of throwing kicks. You're wasting energy. You know, it's like when you throw punches for no reason. You know, sure, it's a taunt. It's like trying to get him to flinch. But see, there again. Wasting energy. You've got to be conservative of your energy sometimes. There he goes. See, now he's in taunt mode. Now he's thinking cocky, ego. Cody's probably throwing this away. He needs to stay in that mindset that he was before that got him that clean shot that almost finished the fight in the first round. Just look at it. But is anything actually going to happen? They're just still testing each other, not, you know. Cody should be the one going in. He's the one that, you know. Hear the audience chanting. Hey, they clearly love TJ here. Oh, see, now that's what you got to do. That's the kind of kick. That kick. This fight's turned around real quick. It's got him on the ropes now. But Cody's throwing this one away. See, right there. Right there is the opportunity to just bang. Yes, they were, guys. Yes, they were. Oh, God. The he's about, now he's on the defense. He's letting him get in. See? Like, right there. Oh, you threw it away. He threw that one away. Cody had it, and then he backed off. He got taunt mode, then he got rocked a bit. Instead of engaging and going forward, he just went back and let TJ in. Yeah, I think TJ is more about that than Cody is. You can tell by the fact that TJ... I don't think Cody really even realizes where he was rocked. Let's see the way he was clean, just... Man. That was a good shot. It wasn't with a bloody kick. Take note of that. All those kicks that TJ did. It did nothing. Except maybe that one. And that clean headshot. That's the one that did it. That's the one that got the mark. That's the one that did the mark. Yeah.
Hey, get this guy. Somebody needs to get this guy. One of the corners is yelling at Cody Garbrandt. Somebody needs to get this guy out of here. Have some class.
Yeah.
Congratulations, TJ Dillashaw, but you have to be humble.
That's just unfortunate. I mean, well done to TJ. But Cody threw that one away. That's a fight he should have won. He had the first round. He had him. He got him down. And if that first round had actually gone longer, I reckon Cody would have won. But, yeah. You just... I mean, they're going to show the replays of it anyway. That's the second rounds. But then after that, he backed off. Bloody notifications interrupting my recording. So, look at his eyes. He doesn't even know where he is at that point. He's done. It's finished. He doesn't even know where he is at that point. That was... yeah.
Jumps on him, gets the finish. Congratulations to TJ Dillashaw, two-time UFC bantamweight champion.
That's interesting.
Incredible, and again, he felt like he never deserved to lose this belt. And Dillashaw celebrating.
That's unfortunate for Cody, but then at the same time, it's like, you threw that one away. You're the one that threw it away. You're the one that lost this fight. It was his. It was his to lose, and he lost it. You know. But you know, it is what it is. Little mistake. You know, little mistakes, and it's been very clean and technical, these matches, and it's been good. This is a good fight card. So we passed the 1 hour mark on the podcast. For those that are still sticking around, we've got 2 new UFC champions out of the 3 title matches.
Bantamweight champion of the world, TJ Dillashaw. What did you say to Cody at the end of the fight?
I was just yelling. You know, I was just yelling. I was just excited. He stood up and I was just yelling.
I mean, once the guys had settled that down and then embraced.
Congratulations, man. He's a hell of a fighter.
Yeah, well, he embraced him. Cody didn't.
Now, this was a phenomenal fight for you, and the win even sweeter because you overcame adversity in that first round. There was a wild exchange at the end of the first round, and you got clipped. How hurt were you?
The kid's fast, man. He hits hard, you know, and you can't condition.
Yeah, take a look at that.
You know, the better shape you are, the better chin you have.
Got him.
Got caught with the right hand. What he's got, he's got a big foot right hand, but he'll bounce right back. You know,
Was very lucky. The round saved him.
Let's take a look at the high kick you landed in the second round, because that's what started it. You landed a left high kick and stunned him, and then in the
Yep,
follow-up exchange,
that
you
one,
put him away.
which is the first and only good kick he's thrown the entire night.
oh, absolutely, man. You know, kicking the body, kicking the side leg. He's trying to. He's
And
fast,
then,
out of the way.
boom.
But, I knew that head kick was eventually going to open up, get him to drop his hands. He holds his hands a little bit low.
That-
He was take advantage of it.
Now, after
Right
the
there.
close loss to Dominic Cruz and then the excellent performances afterwards, how sweet
Bugger.
is it to finally have that belt back around your waist?
I mean, it's around my waist this whole time in my mind. I was fighting number 1 contenders. I should still be the champion. I am the champion. This is my belt. Demetrius Johnson, I'm coming for you. I'm breaking you. You got that record that is fake. You know it. You should have been fighting me. You dodged me. I'm coming for you. I'm getting that belt. I'm coming 25 and I'm stopping your record.
Congratulations, sir, an outstanding performance. The new champion, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you go, TJ Dillashaw, champion once again. And now we're going to get into the main event. That should be interesting. You got Michael Bisping, defending champion, and George St. Pierre, former champion of a different division, hasn't fought since 2014, but the argument is he hasn't stopped training in martial arts. He's continued from there. He's taken time off. He basically went into retirement, or you could say, I guess, more or less a sabbatical. You know, just taking time off from the UFC. Now he's back. He's going into the middleweight division as a new challenge.
Michael Bisping goes for a second successful defense against the returning former welterweight king George St. Pierre. It is brought to you by EA Sports UFC.
So
Powered by Real Player Motion Tech. EA Sports
that's definitely
UFC
one.
delivers the most authentic UFC
It's going to be a very interesting match because
Pre-order now on PlayStation 4.
I want to lean towards the champion
Well, you may want to make
because he is the champion,
whatever it is you do.
and because George St. Pierre hasn't fought in years. He has been in the UFC ring for quite some time. And there's one thing about training for martial arts and actually being in that ring. There is a difference. It might not seem like it. Like, even if you have sparring bouts in your club, in your organization where you train, and you have match after match after match after match, bout after bout after bout, opponent after opponent after opponent, it's still not the same as being in there, because it's like there's a different kind of energy required, a different kind of fighting altogether. it's as if nothing can all truly prepare you for when you go into the ring, you know, and especially, you know, with regards to any martial art, really, you know, because there's, you know, there's that professional, there's the training fitness, and then there's the fighting fit. In that ring, the mentality is different. You know, I guess how you use your energy can be different, and how you apply things in training doesn't necessarily, it may not work when you get into that ring. All the things that you tried, all the things that you trained to do might not necessarily work. It might not necessarily happen the way that you thought when you go into that ring. And a lot of people, you know, that I've fought against in martial arts, in competitions, there are things that I've trained for that have worked. There are things that shouldn't have worked that have worked. And there are things that aimed to make that the game plan to just run through a division, and they'd already had something to counteract that, because that's the other thing as well. Because the different kinds of training. There's some people could be training to defend against what you're training to do on the offense. You know, different kinds of training. You know, something as simple as footwork could be all the difference. You know, the kicks, punches, different techniques, submission holds, no, you name it. It all has, you know, there's so many variables. That's why it's very difficult to predict these fights, and I guess that's why I'm technically 2-0 right now. I initially had basically put my prediction down that, you know, Bisping, because he's a middleweight fighter. George St. Pierre is, what is it? What's the division below? Welterweight, I believe it is. So that's a division below. And as a welterweight, that's a division below. He's been a champion in this division. He's up to a heavy division. He's a smaller guy, whereas Bisping has trained his entire career as this middleweight fighter. George St. Pierre hasn't. So he's obviously put on some bulk, he's put on some muscle. It's going to be interesting to see how he's able to carry that extra load, you know, because like I said, training in that conditioning and with that, you know, additional mass and everything, and also skill set, and the fact that, you know, you could train for it, but then getting into that ring and putting it into application, you know, I guess, you know, it ultimately comes down to the old saying, you know, there's theoretical and then there's practical, and sometimes, you know, theoretically things don't apply practically, sometimes things practically don't apply theoretically, you know. So we are about to head into the final match of the night. I guess it just depends how quickly they want to get to it. They want to do all the promos and lead up and everything. Yes, the title match brought to you by Budweiser. Get drunk off your ass and then want to fight people just like in the ring, except because you're drunk you'll think you're a UFC fighter, but in the eyes of everyone else you'll be so drunk and so off your face that people will be laughing at you. Here we go. Promo lead up. This could end up being my longest podcast ever, depending on how long this fight goes. So they'd be doing some pretty intense training. At least that's just what it shows in the promo. He could be training in a rusty old garage with some rusty old weights. Could be a little rusty.
This whole storyline of him being amazing, stepping up a weight class after 4 years out of the time. Wow, what a legend. So bull. George retired when he did because Johnny Hendricks beat
good old Manchester.
situation. George does not want to get hit in the head anymore. And the worst possible matchup for him is me. I hold the record for the most significant strikes landed in history.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to what he's saying, but at the same time, I would not underestimate George for 1 second.
George thinks he's going to come out of retirement and tear my belt away from me. The guy coming from another weight class, you're out of your goddamn mind.
He's a much bigger guy than I am, but I believe I got better skills, better technique, better athleticism, and I believe I am a much better version than I was before.
This is the new George St. Pierre, everybody. He's coming back a better version.
What the do you think this is? We've all evolved. We've all got better. That's the name of the game, George.
Hey, George, where's your belt? Where's your belt? You don't have one. The sport moved on, buddy.
You want to be the best at something.
Yeah.
Be normal. You need to be obsessed.
I guess this one's definitely it, because George St. Pierre is a traditional martial artist. And
We can all dream, but dreams don't always come true, George. He's going to lose, and he's going to lose viciously.
so traditional martial artist. He's coming to the ring right now. But just a little quick background on just exactly what martial arts Mr. Pierre. So George St. Pierre is a 3rd dan black belt in Kyokushin Karate, 1st degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a black belt in Gaido Jutsu, a black belt in Shidokan. So basically what that means, Kyokushin Karate, that's full contact karate, a 3rd dan black belt in that, and 1st degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which that's quite impressive. You know. Gaido Jutsu is, well, so it says, I guess that's just an MMA club, but Shidokan is another form of karate as well, another form of knockdown karate. So basically he's got multiple grades in multiple arts. He's a traditional martial artist. And then we've got Michael Bisping, who is very much the street brawler. You know, the guy from Manchester, the guy, you know, he is from Manchester, and he lets you know it. Wears his flag around, very proud. But, you know, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so what it's going to come down to in this case, because in terms of the technical ability, George St. Pierre has a lot of ability, whereas Michael Bisping has the size and also the fact that, well, he's been active in the UFC for quite some time, and not to mention the fact that this is going to be the first time that St. Pierre has fought in this weight division. So there is that leading edge there that Michael Bisping does have, but if Michael Bisping isn't careful, then George can very well walk away with the belt. You know? But it's the one thing as well, because Michael Bisping's had the most wins in the UFC men's history. He's had a lot of victories, and he's gone into detail about who he's beaten, just what he's done. That can come into play as well, but then what does it mean because he hasn't beat George St. Pierre, you know? Well, what a positive crowd for Michael Bisping. I guess you can't really blame it because Michael Bisping is being very verbal and... yeah. What a theme song to walk out to. All good here. So this is the final match of the evening, and as of the podcast as well, we're heading up to an hour and a half. Thank you for everyone who's still sticking around, by the way, who hasn't. And for those of you who just want to get to it, just scroll. The main point is that you're listening, or that you're watching. This is a history-making custom commentary in this version of reality because it is also the first time that I've put through a live video version so you can see my lovely face. And those of you wondering why I don't have the UFC in a corner somewhere, well, obviously copyright reasons, cannot do that, don't have permission obviously, and don't want to get any strikes on any channels, have content removed. I mean, having the audio at the level that it's at is acceptable enough because it is commentary, it is review, you know. If I gained permissions for it, you know, then, you know, maybe look at that down the track, but for now, this'll do. You know, have me playing in the background while you watch it, or, you know. But you can hear it all well, hopefully. We did to test audio. And we'll probably do some more custom commentary in the future. Might be a while before the next one. Might get into some movie custom commentary, which was the original intention when I followed up the concept. But hey, here we are right now. And we're about to get away with the fight. Of course, we've got to wait for the old announcement from Bruce Buffer. It is going to be epic, this fight. Okay. I'd say they're both very confident going in, but then all the promos and everything beforehand, Michael Bisping certainly had the more dominant personality, whereas Bisping was a little more submissive. Like, he, you know, Michael was a bit more touchy-feely and doing a couple of things, you know, taunting and, you know, talking trash, whereas Michael Bisping was sort of more like, yeah, okay, whatever. So, I mean, it could be just like the last couple of fights, you know, the champion coming in egotistical, or more egotistical than the other person. You know, it come down to composure, come down to focusing on the fight rather than basically trying to be psychologically dominant of your opponent. Here comes the announcement. So, shh. Quiet, everyone. Bruce Buffer is announcing. Big John McCarthy needs to lose a little of that love handle there. Needs to get a little less big and a little more fit. Be fit, John McCarthy.
Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner.
See, George is a lot more composed. See that composure right there, and look at the difference between him and Michael Bisping. So he's focusing on the crowd. Shouldn't be focusing on the crowd. Focus on your opponent. Who gives a crap if the crowd doesn't like you? It's not about popularity. So not the favourite going in, but the champion nonetheless. Looks like a chicken. I'll just see that. Just frickin'. That was just a touch of the gloves. That was like fisting him. Like, brr! Just punched his glove out the way. That's it. See, you see the difference in composure. You know, because already Michael Bisping could be burning energy just by emotion alone, just by basically amping himself like, let's do it! Whereas George is calm and collected. And that's what he needs, especially, you know, if he doesn't have, you know, this is his first fight as a middleweight. You see that kick there? That's clean, crisp, you know. The difference between that kick and the kicks that TJ was doing. You know, he knew that it was just a test kick, so he didn't put all that energy into it. You know? But you just see this technique. You could see that karate technique right there. You know, and the footwork and everything. Whereas Michael, you know, just sort of more the brawler type. Just got to try and come in over the top. See, look at that. Just got to try and come in over the top and get him in the head. There we go. Look at that. So some nice clean shots there. I mean, they're not effective yet, but shots like that, they're effective. Even if they don't do anything, it's conserving energy. And yeah, I agree with Michael there. It's like, what the hell was that? Come on. That wasn't a very good kick. I'm going to call it again and say, you know, so far my end match predictions within 3 rounds. Each one's been within 3 rounds. I don't think it's going to happen in the first rounds. I reckon this will be another short fight, but a good fight. I'd say second round. I'm not going to... I mean, I've already gone on record by saying that Michael Bisping should win. But I'm just going to be a fan and just enjoy it and not predict. So that way at least I can say I'm not 2 for 3 predictions. That is to say 0 from 3. 2 from 3 in terms of wrong predictions. But really, the other 2 champions, they gave it away, in a way. They should have won, but they didn't. But, you know, I'd say TJ Dillashaw, you know, or Cody should have won more than Joanna. Joanna didn't do enough. But Cody, he had that match. Joanna had a little less. But Cody had it for quite some time. He threw it away. See that? You know, George is going to come over the top. He's going to get that technique in. It's got to counter everything that Michael does, get straight on through. Even if it doesn't knock him out, it's going to hit its mark, it's going to be effective. Because that's that technique of the karate fighter. You know.
Timing looks very good. I mean, especially considering how long he's been out of the octagon.
Seems fast. The jab's fast, the movement's fast.
He's got a good defense as well, good guard. As Michael's on the ropes, Michael's got to push forward, otherwise it's just not going to happen. And those kicks, it's crap. Shouldn't be throwing those kicks. Yeah, Dan Cormier brings up a good point. You know, carrying that, like I said, carrying that extra muscle, that's extra strain on the body. Even if he's been training in that condition, that's extra weight, and he's 5'10", whereas, you know, someone who's 5'10" versus someone who's 6'1", you know, they're both about the same weight. What the hell? He's like, what's going on? What are you doing? Well, okay, but Michael's not doing anything. It's a stalemate. Dude, he's not doing anything to get out of it. Oh, goodness. I mean, you're sitting there. You're wondering, you gotta let us up. It's like, stand yourself up, get out of it, man. I mean, George has got this, he's controlling this entire fight. But that kick, that was a dumb kick again. As Michael Bisping's pretty much on the, he's on the edge of the ring the entire time. He's taken a few hits. So if Michael wants to win it, he's got to do something. That was awesome right there. That, not so much.
Look at that. Boom. Catches him on the chin, off balance.
Yeah, kind of clipped him, but still ineffective kick. You know, they're playing it up like it was better than what it was, but from a martial artist perspective, you know, yeah, that punch was a lot more effective than that kick, trust me. And that's going to be the difference. So the podcast is now at an hour and a half, but I reckon this is going to end shortly. So I don't see this match going past the second rounds. Especially after the shots that George gave to Michael. I just got to wear his health down just a bit. That little health bar there, it's just a down a little further down. I guess George is even aware of that. So he's coming straight in. He's coming straight for him this time. He's pushing him to the edge. He's going to make him make that mistake and then capitalize on it. So Michael Bisping, even when he kicks, he's on the back foot. So he's still kind of on the defensive. So George is getting every one of those punches is making a mark. It's hit. That's what he's got to do coming in. Straight in.
12 UFC title fight wins for George St. Pierre. Last finish though against BJ Penn.
Yeah, George St. Pierre's got quite a history of records and everything. So Michael Bisping has got to do more. He's not really doing anything. And you see that punch, he's already wasted all of his energy defending and amping himself up. He might not have enough to finish this fight off, but George still got enough. You could just tell the difference. You know, they're both starting to sweat quite profusely, but still. You know, the fact that Michael's not doing anything at all. He's not trying to deflect. He's not trying to move. Ah, go away with your notifications! Interrupting my recording! We'll check it real quick. Might be important. Ah, stupid. Not you, the notification. You know what I was talking about. So... and that's it as well, because the Kyokushin full contact karate. So he'd be trained to take some heavy hits. So like that, nothing. You know, George, hit like that, maybe another couple of different opponent, might have done something different. But with George, because he's conditioned for it, just completely conditioned himself. Yes.
Now, as we're moving into the second round, the question becomes, are we seeing George St. Pierre slow down?
So we're seeing, Michael's starting to try a little bit. It's too late, George has already got it figured out. And I reckon it won't be long now. I reckon we're going to see a new champion again. I mean, it's been the trend tonight. 3 new champions. See, another clean shot by George. Another one right there. Let's see, this is probably not a good thing for George. Because Michael's good at getting out of those situations. And this is where Michael, because that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, this is where Michael could do some damage. Is that... Michael's being cut open. But there you go, see. See, another clean shot, straight down the line, straight in. George is getting a lot of those strikes in, whereas Michael isn't. That's a big difference between these guys at the moment. Yeah, now they're starting to slow down just a little, just a bit. Yeah, not very effective though. Good technically, but there was not enough power. He doesn't have enough in the tank to make that an effective kick. Not good enough. Because Michael doesn't have quite enough energy to make that... he's not going to finish that with a kick like that, unfortunately. Maybe if he did that earlier, that's certainly... because he would have had a lot more strength and speed, stamina to just pull it off, but... he doesn't have enough.
Michael Bisping's cup is broken. They have to pull the string up and tape it in the back.
Water's coming. Water's coming.
So we're going into round 3. Oh! Ooh! Ugh. I'm okay. It's all good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. I reckon this has to be the final round, because unless it's just going to drag out and start to become a boring fight, I reckon this next round something interesting is going to happen. It's kind of exciting, don't you reckon? Let's see just exactly what's going to happen, who's going to win. It looks like George has probably got this one. I mean, he's already up and ready to go. Michael's still trying to get... using all his time before... Yeah, don't you just hate it when you break your cup? But what are they talking about? It's just sitting in the underwear. I mean, there are 2 different kinds of cups. One with the adhesive as straps, and the other one... that's what they're designed to do, to sit there. Personally, I don't like the ones where they're all strapped up. I like the ones that sit there, But this isn't a position that George wants to be in. This is where Michael is going to do damage.
It allows St. Pierre to not only control him, but to rest a little bit. He's fighting in the positions that he's very comfortable.
He had to be expected that the early shot from St. Pierre would be coming.
See, he's doing damage right there, so...
This thing is trying to set up an arm. He's trying to hold on to the right arm of George.
Oh, dear.
He's cut. St. Pierre's cut. Bad.
So he's cut him right open. So Michael Bisping has him right where he needs him right now. That Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I don't know why George would go for the takedown. Because he's just allowed for unnecessary damage right there. And yeah, I don't think that was really necessary, to be honest. Because if he could turn him around there and get a sleeper on him. I mean, sure, George might be in control, but Bisping is the one doing the damage here. That's the thing, you know. So I wouldn't be getting in that position, especially with someone with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. You know, it'd be a karate background. You know, not in something like that. Because now you're just basically wasting energy, wasting time, and now he's suffering damage to the head. Because look, George is cut right open. He's continuing to get hit. Yeah, now he's got the Crimson Mask going. Those who know what a Crimson Mask is, look it up. I don't know time. But now he's going to have, you know, that's going to be a distraction as well. This is where Michael Bisping should be able to capitalize, but he's not. You know, just continue to go in. But he's not doing anything. He's still... It's like he doesn't have enough energy to do it, or just apprehension because... You know, once again, because he doesn't have enough energy to commit to the attack to to finish him off. I think Michael's done. I mean, even though it looks a little different, Michael is still on that back. He's still going back.
I'm wondering if Bisping can kick. There he goes. With that cup like barely hanging out some underwear. Yeah, he's moving all over the place.
He got one good lucky shot.
But he's loading up so bad that he's missing awkwardly.
We're heading towards the end of round 3, though. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not going to be the between 3 rounds. Oh, got him! See that connected shot right down the middle. Finally got him. Michael's trying to turn his back. I wouldn't do that. He's trying to cover. He's trying to turn. He's trying to get out. Nope, he's done. Michael, he's not going to tap. The ref's going to have to call it. Michael is not going to tap. He'll pass out before he taps. See those shots down the middle? Each one of them connected and finally wore him down enough, and that was it. And there's the interim champion right there. But to see, look how cut up he is, though. It was unnecessary damage that he suffered because he went down for the clinch. Yeah, so he didn't tap out, so at least he could say I didn't submit. But he was choked out. That's respect right there. So that's good sportsmanship. Let's see, that's dangerous spot. Like, he got him with the elbow. It's like, that's a dangerous position. Shouldn't have stayed in there. Because think about it as well. Now he's got to rest and recover to, you know, from that injury before he could probably be medically cleared to fight again. You know, because you suffer too much damage like that, the doctor could always call the fight and say, nah, you know, due to doctor's stoppage. So he got lucky on that account, but if Michael kept going in and going for the injury, that could have been it. But, you know, he turned his back to him. That was, he just, small mistakes, little mistakes right there, I just gave it away, you know? Oh well, we got 3 new champions tonight. Rose, Liamo Nunes, TJ Dillashaw, and now George St. Pierre. This is a pretty good, this has been a great fight card, maybe the best this year. I mean, yeah, this may very well be the best fight card this year. The best, yeah, clean, technically, you know, great fights. These are good. So now we're getting to the ring announcements shortly. Yeah, Bruce Buffer's like, get in there, come on, let's do this. Still just don't get that suit top. Just, I'm not into it, that whole pattern. Congratulations, George. Yeah.
First of all, congratulations.
First time in this whole fight card that the challengers stuck around for the post-match interview.
What was this all like for you?
And I don't have a word in my mouth right now. It's my dream come true, guys. Thank you for the support. Everybody here that came to support me and Michael. It's a great sport. Thank you. We'll make a living because of you guys. Thank you so much. My dream come true.
George, there was so many years out, but you came in and you looked very smooth and very relaxed. Was there anything that felt surprising to you?
Well, he hurt me very hard. You know, after the time I got stunned, I tried to hide it.
So with that, he's tied the most wins with Michael Bisping.
To do that fight again. Oh, sorry.
To see you back here again, and surreal to see you once again as a UFC champion, but now the middleweight champion and 2-division champion. Are you going to maintain 185 pounds? Are you going to stay at 185, or are you going to continue fighting?
Yeah, he's hoping he does.
Well, this is not really my real weight. You know, I did it for the challenge, and it was a time in my career I was too busy. The challenger were one after the other, and I was too small to go up. I wasn't even small for welterweight. Now I'm still welterweight size, but I decided to take a shot because I put on some muscle mass. There's a point that it's too much, but now now I'm at the point that is okay, you know.
Let's take a look at the big screen, George. And I want you
Couldn't
to
have said it better
remember
myself.
Please, because I don't even remember it.
You caught him with a left hand. Let's take a look at it here. Perfect left hook here. And this is where you hurt him. That's when he dropped. What was going through your mind? Do you remember?
Yeah, I knew. I mean, I don't want to give away for Michael, but I studied a lot of Michael's tape. I knew he had problem with the shot coming to his right. So our plan was to fake him on his left side to attract his attention, and
Well, it worked.
strike him on the right. That's what we did most of the fight.
And you swarmed him on the ground, and you were trying to stop him with strikes, but then you gave him some space and you tried to get back up to some rear naked choke.
Yeah, it was a trick, you know. I kind of sometimes put trap. I have more experience. MMA sometimes if you before a few years ago I was always trying to force things, and I think the best way in fighting is to set up some trap. So when your opponent step in, it's easier to get it. Sorry for the analogy, but that's how it is, you know.
Well, George, you said that you had improved when you came back. You showed it tonight.
It's not about.
There we go.
It's not about who got the biggest balls, so to speak. Sorry for my language. It's about technique, setting trap, and intelligence. And I was fighting a bigger man, and I was trying to prove it tonight to all my fans.
You were the greatest welterweight of all time. It's beautiful to see you back again. Congratulations on winning the UFC middleweight title.
That's awesome.
Man, he's the toughest guy I've fought. This man is amazing. I'm a fighter, but I've been a fan of this man. He's a true example of hard work and perseverance in the sport. So Michael, man, all my respect to you, man.
George St. Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
That's awesome. But also good for Michael actually sticking around, you know, the post-match interview.
Well, you got to give it up for George, guys. You know, congratulations. He was a better man tonight. New York, you know, I came out here, I fight my ass off. I say a few things, just trying to be entertaining, trying to make you, fuck it, I'm trying to get through my day, doing my thing. But listen, George was a better man. Hell of a fucking squeeze he's got there, man. So, you know, give it up for George. Not a lot else to say. For everyone that supported me throughout my career, thank you so much. My wife and children, they're sat over there. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. These guys behind me, Carrillo, Brady, Raphael, Scott Bahaska, Dean Amasinga, everyone, the UFC, thank you all. You know, I'm not done. I know I spoke about retirement, but George was a better man tonight. You know, simple as that. No excuses. You beat me, fucking choked me out. Congratulations.
You're one of the toughest guys in the game. There's no doubt whatsoever you will be back. Thank you very much, sir, for an excellent fight. Michael Bisping, ladies and
Yeah, he's a bit
gentlemen.
disappointed, but you know what? It is what it is, but that was a great fight card. It ultimately came down, like, each one of them, like, little mistakes. And the champions are the one that made the mistakes, and the challengers capitalized on it fully. I'm impressed with UFC 217. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, if you guys actually watched it. If you didn't, then... And if you've never seen an MMA card or UFC before, definitely watch this one, because this one, it was a good fight card, and you got 3 title matches, 3 title changes, which is, I don't believe has ever happened before as well. They're quite the stacked fight card. Congratulations to Rose Namajunas, well done to TJ Dillashaw, and definitely congratulations to George St. Pierre. That's his first fight back at UFC, and he won the middleweight championship. So that's pretty much the end of the UFC 217. I mean, there might be some extra commentary at the end and analysis of the fight card, but I think I'm going to call it right there, because we're nearly heading to 2 hours on the podcast and on the custom commentary, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, share and subscribe, and as always, my name is Liam, and I will see you guys next time.